Good day, it is Althea from the Bible in 1 year. Today we spend time in 1 King 1-5, a God listening heart. When standing at the head of something, there will always be someone else who envy you and would like to take your position or to excel above you. When God called you to stand in a position, He will also protect your position and work favor in the hearts of those involved, keeping you there. In chapter 1, another one of David's sons, Adoniah, stood up against David, wishing to take the throne from David before he dies, while God anointed Solomon, one of David's other sons, to be king. But God, being a proactive God, is ready with a plan of action. He stirs up Nathan to step up with a plan of wisdom. David acted quickly, which secures the throne to Solomon, and no lives were lost. In chapter 2, we read how David handed over kingship to his son, sharing words of wisdom in 1 Kings 2 verse 2. I am going the way of all the earth as dust to dust. Be strong and prove yourself a man. Keep the charge of the Lord your God. That is, fulfill your obligation to walk in His ways. Keep His statutes, His commandments, His precepts, and His testimonies, as it is written in the law of Moses, so that you may succeed in everything that you do, and wherever you turn, so that the Lord may fulfill His promise concerning me, saying, if your sons are careful regarding their way of life, to walk before me in truth, with all their heart and mind, and with all their soul, you shall not fail to have a man descendant on the throne of Israel. This is truly a recipe for success we can all live by. In 1 Kings 3, verse 5, we read that night, God appeared to Solomon in a dream. God said, what can I give you? Ask. If God would ask you today, what do you want from Him? What would you answer Him? Let me read Solomon's answer to you in 1 Kings 3 verse 9. So give your servant an understanding mind and a hearing heart, with which to judge your people, so that I may discern between good and evil. For who is able to judge and rule this great people of yours? Of all the things he could possibly ask for, he asked for a God-listening heart and an understanding mind, so that he may discern well. God saw the heart of Solomon, and because his heart was towards the people to be a good king to them, God also blessed him with the things he could ask for, but did not. God's heart is to bless us with so much more. All through the Bible, we see that we have a role to play. We need to meet the conditions, and God will be faithful to keep His promises. 1 Kings 3 verse 14, we read, if you walk in my ways, keep my statutes and my commandments, as your father David did, then I will lengthen your days. All we need to do is to walk in His ways and to keep His statutes and His commandments. In chapter 4, verse 25, we read that Judah and Israel lived in security, in peace and prosperity during the days of Solomon. Verse 29 read, now God gave Solomon exceptional wisdom and every great discernment and breadth of mind, like the sand of the seashore. Solomon's wisdom surpasses the wisdom of all the sons of the east and of the wisdom of Egypt. David wanted to build a temple for the Lord, but God said no, as we read in 1 Chronicles 22 verse 8. But the word of the Lord came to me, saying, You have shed much blood, and have waged great war. You shall not build a house for me. Behold, a son will be born to you, who will be the man of peace. I will give him rest from all the enemies on every side, for his name shall be Solomon, and I will give him peace and quiet to Israel in his days. He shall build a house for my name's presence. He shall be my son, and I will be his father, and I will establish his royal throne over Israel. In 1 Kings 5 verse 4, But now the Lord my God has given me rest from war on every side. There is neither adversity nor misfortune confronting me. Behold, I intend to build a house, a temple to the name of the Lord my God, just as the Lord said to my father David. Your son, whom I will put on the throne in your place, shall build a house for my name and my presence. May we wish, may the wish of your heart be to have a God-listening heart and an understanding mind, so that you may also discern well. If you make this your daily prayer and you try your best to live in His ways, to keep His statutes and ordinances, God will fulfill His promises in your life. As we spend time in His presence, we get to know what He wants for us, His purpose for our lives. That will start to grow in your lives, and His will become your will, just like Solomon wanted to build a temple for God. May you be blessed. Goodbye.